I used to work in radio. I used to work for iHeartRadio. I was a radio jock for 5 years, and I honestly thought that was what I was always going to do. I went to school for communications. I got my degree in it. That's where my life was headed, in journalism or radio. And then they always say, when you make plans, God laughs at you. And I made plans to always do that. Clearly, God did not have that path set out for me. So 3 months before my wedding, I got let go from what was my dream job. I told my husband, I was like, I'm never working for anyone else. My mom's worked for herself 33 years. I think I can do it. So a month after my wedding, I see a Foto Master ad and I'm like, like, this looks pretty cool. I know a lot of people in the industry. I think I could get cool events, make my own money, be my own boss, run my own business. All right, time to level up, right? So I went through with the purchase, and 3 years later, here we are, full-time, self-employed. Yeah. So I think that's what I love about being in this industry. It's just the fact that you never know what you're going to get. As far as event-wise, I've done like just so many events that are different. And that's what keeps me on my toes, because it's fun. Like, you're not like not to knock a 9 to 5, but it's like, okay, you go into work, you clock in, you type, do what you got to do till the end of the day, take your lunch, go home, come back the next day and you do the same thing. We never do the same thing. It's never the same people. It's never the same type of event. It's never the same type of crowd. Like, I've had crowds that I'm like, oh man, this is just going to be boring. And they end up being the wildest crowd that I've had. So it's like, it's just, I think that's the funnest part of it, that you never know what you're going to get. It's like Forrest Gump, life is like a box of chocolate. We were contacted by Warner, because they wanted to know if I had any events going on June 3rd for a crashing of a wedding, and to see if my bride and groom were okay with these actors. They're not that famous, but we want to promote this movie. And it ended up being Jeremy Renner from the Avengers. It ended up being Ed Helms. It ended up being, what's this guy from Mad Men? I forgot what his name was. And then it ended up being one of my favorite actors from New Girl. And they're huge A-list actors. So we're not talking about not just a couple of actors. So my bride and groom were okay with their wedding getting crashed for the movie Tag. And I ended up having all the actors at the photo booth. They invited me the next day to come down to their interview, because they just had such a good time crashing the wedding with the photo booth. And it was just, my picture was everywhere. Like, you just saw Magic Mirror Miami in Stephen Colbert, The View, E! News was contacting me, asking me for permission for the picture. All the news outlets from Miami were asking me for permission to use my picture. So I think that was one of like the highlights of my photo booth career, because even though I'm not in the entertainment industry as a DJ, I still get to be in the photo booth industry. So I think that was definitely my most memorable moment. I think I always say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I feel like that's what we do for these couples. Like, there are some couples who I've had that can't afford a photographer, but they want to do a photo booth, so they just put me into one. And the fact that we can make those memories for everyone, and they had a great time doing it, and the messages that I've gotten, telling me like, you really were part of my special day. Like, what you guys did at my event made my day a million times more better. Like, I think that's the biggest accomplishment for me, and being able to be at home with my son and seeing him grow and not having to miss out on his milestones. Yeah. And that nice Benz I got in the parking lot too. I ain't even gonna. The fact that, first of all, when you go to an event, what's the first thing? When people walk by a mirror, they stop, they look at themselves, fix themselves, make sure they can see what they're doing. Which I think that's one of the main features from the mirror. It is unlike anything I've ever seen before. So the fact that people can walk up to it, they can fix themselves prior, they know what they're going to look like, then that means I don't have to do 97 takes, because it's, I didn't know that my hair was off point. No, you knew. You got to see it on the mirror. The fact that it was touchscreen, which people think, they always tell me, this looks like a giant iPhone. And they love it, because they can put their phone number, they can text themselves, they can email themselves, they can use their virtual props. Oh my God, the fact that I can collect data, the fact that I can make GIFs. It's like the endless amount of things that I could say about it. Everything started because of Foto Master. I saw the ad. I went with their product. It was my first and only product for my first 6 months of business. In my 6 months, I was purchasing my second one. 6 months after that, I was purchasing my third one. So if I didn't have Foto Master, I wouldn't have started this business. So to sum it up, you guys changed my life. Like, you really changed my life. Like, I don't have to worry. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Okay, don't mind me. I'm mad sentimental. I still have pregnancy hormones. Seriously, like, it really did give me the opportunity to not have to worry about getting let go, of not having to worry about dealing with, maybe a new boss who came in that didn't like me. I didn't ever have to worry about where my money was coming from. It all depended on me. I make what I want to make. I work when I want to work. I don't have to be under someone, and then to think that what I used to make in radio in 2 weeks, I make it in 3 hours is just amazing. So honestly, if it wasn't for Foto Master, I just wouldn't have a business. So here I am. If you're not going to do this with all of your heart, and if you're not going to pour in all of your energy, don't do it. Because then you're going to be frustrated down the line and say, well, I'm trying to move this and I'm trying to get bookings and I'm not getting bookings. I was working with my mom at her salon and also working with the mayor when I first started, because I had just started. And the moment that I gave up the salon and I started doing Magic Mirror Miami full time was when I bloomed. That is when the flourish began. And that was 3 months in was when I finally decided, hey, I'm just going to do this full time. This is what I'm going to do. And it's what I do full time. So if you want to do this, you have to put your heart and soul into it. Don't do this because you think, oh, I'm going to make some money. Oh, it's just an investment. Oh, it's just love it. If you love it and you truly love entertaining, you love being at events, you love making memories with people, this is the line of work for you. If not, don't waste your time. I will tell you right now, you will buy props that you just don't need. I do it a lot. I have so many props in my house that I literally had to compare it to my husband in a way that he would understand. He's military, so I had to tell him, the way you need your guns, I need my props. This is my ammo. These are my weapons to make great parties. So props to the enemy. Make sure you protect them with all your heart. People will try to steal them at parties. What else? When people tell you just one more picture, don't fall for it, because then that's followed by 20 more people. There's just so much. I could go on for days.